So, Senator, let's talk about tomorrow. I've had John Thune on. If John Cornyn called, all three of you guys are great friends of mine and of the program. Why are you running for leader?
Well, I'm running because I think we have to have, dramatic change. We've got to get the Trump agenda accomplished. I'm a business guy. I know how to get things done. I've talked to my colleagues. They know we have to have big change. They want to get treated as equals. They want us to have an agenda. They want to be part of a team. They know I've got a great working relationship with Donald Trump and with Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. And I'm a business guy. What do? You have a purpose. You build a team. You write a plan. You measure living daylights out of things. And guess what? You have success. So I think that's what we've got to do. We've got to have success. We've got to get this stuff done.
The business plan thing. Can I pause on that? Because I've been trying to explain the budget and reconciliation process to people. Would you explain it to them? We get 100 days and we get one budget reconciliation this year, and it's got to be big. What would you imagine for it?
Well, first off, you've got to revamp it. You've got to get reduce taxes. I mean, our taxes are too big, and you've got to change the size of the government. We're spending 40% more than we take in. Our taxes are too high. I cut taxes, by the way, every year as governor. I cut taxes and fees 100 times. Guess what? My revenues went up. The economy got better. So what we've got to think about is how do we get people back to work? How do we reduce the cost of living for people? I mean, I can just say people are struggling. I mean, I stopped at a restaurant the other day to grab a sandwich, and a young lady says, "Look, Governor, I moved." She says, I moved when you were governor, and I could afford it. She says, I can't afford to live here anymore. Everything's gotten too expensive. You've got to fix this. That's going to take dramatic change. And so what we've got to do is we've got to pass a budget, and we have to stop and say to ourselves, why do we have the Department of Education? Why is the federal government involved in so many agencies, so many things? Why do we, if they want to run everything, why do we have our state? I believe in states' rights. I believe our governors and their legislatures ought to be responsible for education and so many things that the federal government has gotten involved in. And what they've done is all they do is bog everything down. You can't get a permit. They're telling you how to run your life. This is easy. That's why we have our state. That's how this was set up. So it's a United States of America. It's not the federal government of America.
Senator, I believe that the spending clause would support conditioning federal education dollars on every state that receives them, that wants them, implementing a school choice program at least as robust as Florida and Arizona's and West Virginia's and Ohio. I mean, there's a standard. We can't mandate the end of public schools, but certainly, do you think reconciliation could support that kind of a requirement on education spending?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now,
what we've got to do is we've got to say, what can we do? And don't be shy. I mean, let's do everything we can do. There are so many things we have to do. We have to have a military that can scare the crap out of our enemies. We've got to balance our budget. We can balance the budget. Guess what? I balanced the budget when I was governor. Florida had not balanced its budget in 20 years before I became governor. I balanced the budget when I was in business. How do you do it? You say, "It's what my revenues are going to be. I'm not spending more than that." It's not that hard. But you have to create a process for everything you want to get done. So we know we have to get a budget done. We know we have to do reconciliation. Let's go to when do we have to have these things done? Let's move backwards. Who's going to be responsible? What's our timeline? What's our measurement? And then do it. We've got to get the Trump agenda accomplished. We got to get his judges in. We've got to get his nominees done. We got to. This is not for the faint of heart. This is for somebody that wants to bust their butt every day to get this done.